Hello and welcome to the NBA Today with Cameron Sadeghi. You're probably saying, where in the world is the hardwood with Cameron Sadeghi? I wanted to change it up to see what it would be like, and I think I like this name the most, and I'm going to keep this name as the show. There is a lot to talk about here. Dwight Howard is officially a Houston Rocket. Andrew Bynum, could he be a Cavalier? We'll talk about that. Chris Kaman is a Laker this time, not a Clipper. And Randy Foye will be going to the Denver Nuggets, while Andre Iguodala is on the Warriors. We'll talk about that deal. Also, Josh Smith, he's a Piston. Really shocking. Could they be a playoff contender? I'll talk about that as well. And, oh yes, ball don't lie, Rasheed Wallace, he has agreed to become the Detroit Pistons assistant coach. I was flipping through the channels, saw him on Summer League. The beard still alive for Rasheed Wallace. And I want you to call in on the show. 949-456-2911 will be really good for you to call in today and give me your thoughts today. Or you can click on the green bubble and just go ahead and type away. Dwight Howard, Rockets. He has agreed to a 4-year deal with the Houston Rockets, and wow, the Rockets, they hit the jackpot while the Lakers absolutely did not. Unbelievable. The Lakers are really in a tight spot right now. The Rockets, a lot of people are saying they're not a championship contender. They're not going to do well. Dwight Howard's not a good guy. Dwight Howard's a bad person. Dwight Howard is this. Dwight Howard is that. Well, guess what? The Houston Rockets will be making the playoffs. I can guarantee you that, and I can guarantee you this. The Houston Rockets have a chance for the Western Conference Finals, period. They may not go to the NBA Finals, but can they get to the Western Conference Finals? Of course. Do they have enough shooting in the perimeter? Do they have a big-time guard? Yes. Do they have not that bad of a point guard? And a lot of people are picking at Jeremy Lin for no reason? Yes, sir. So, Jeremy Lin's going to be fine. Harden's going to be fine. Howard's going to have a great time. And it's a free-flowing offense. This is what I love about Kevin McHale and company. It's a free-flowing offense. A lot of spacing on the pick and rolls, and Dwight Howard likes rolling. He's one of the best rollers and one of the best pick setters in the NBA, and I think Dwight Howard will flourish in that system, and I think Dwight Howard's going to have a lot of success with the Houston Rockets. And defensively, with Omer Asik, they're going to cause havoc down there. 2 twin towers that are going to get it done for you. I trust these guys, and I trust the Houston Rockets and where they are. I know there's been a lot of scrutiny. Ice Cube saying some inappropriate things that we can't say on here. Ice Cube saying, oh, Kobe Bryant's going to win a championship before Dwight Howard. Give me a break. You got Stephen A. Smith mad at Howard. Skip Bayless mad at Howard. Bob Ryan was kind of mocking Dwight Howard on Twitter today, saying, yes, Dwight Howard finally made a smart decision. Ha ha, we get it. Not really. So, again, it was an issue, big issue, and Howard, a lot of scrutiny. He's been hearing that's basically what he's been hearing from day one. I mean, Howard, the scrutiny is just ridiculous. I mean, you talk about a guy that has become one of the most hated men in the game of basketball, possibly the most hated man, and for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And Howard, again, he made the right choice. Metta World Peace said last year, we're going to win a championship if we bring everybody back. Well, Charles Barkley said on TNT the night of when Metta World Peace said that, he said, guess what? These old geezers can't win a championship. And, well, he actually used the word geezers. I mean, Charles, come on. But, actually, not that bad of a phrase for them. It really labels them well, but I digress. Charles Barkley is right. There is no way, and especially with Kaman now, I mean, well, we'll talk about Kaman later in the show. But with Kaman, it really, again, they have no identity. Metta World Peace is going to be released, according to a few sources out there. They're going to do it soon, probably, but, it's just, they're going to amnesty and all that. And look, Steve Nash is 38, 39. He's played horrible defense throughout his career. I know that's so harsh. He's been a 2-time MVP, but come on. This guy is a really bad defender. I can't trust Steve Nash out there. I mean, I can just run ISOs. If I'm a team like the Denver Nuggets, I got Ty Lawson there. I just say, just go. If I'm George Karl, well, not George Karl, Brian Shaw is now there. If I'm Brian Shaw, I just say, hey, you know what? Let's just go run ISOs on the left wing for Lawson. Let Lawson be on an island. Nash has to guard him. There's no way Nash is going to stop Lawson. And then if Nash gets beat, the defense has to scramble and then kick out 3-3-3. That's all it's going to be. All day long. The Lakers are going to be in trouble again. The Lakers can't win. The Lakers won't make the playoffs. And again, the Lakers are struggling. The Lakers are in a mess. The Lakers are in a misery. They can't win point blank. It's just that simple. The Rockets, on the other hand, have a great system. Great head coach, stability, everything going the right way. Ashiq, Howard, you got Robinson, you got Harden, Lynn, the whole crew, Parsons. That's going to be a playoff team. There is no way that the Lakers will go in there, go into the next season with a hobbled Kobe Bryant, a crazy Metta World Peace if he stays, and a really inconsistent defender in Steve Nash, a thin front line, an inconsistent and old Pau Gasol, a terrible bench, and expect to win basketball games. The Houston Rockets are the exact opposite. They have a solid bench. It's not amazing, but it's solid. Great stability at the head coach. Not a thin front line at all. They got a big-time front line. They got a big-time guard in Harden. And Lynn will run the show at point guard. You just have to make sure that he doesn't turn over the basketball and get wild. Lynn sometimes gets a little wild and tries to force the issue. If you can just calm down Lynn. And I trust Kevin McHale to do exactly that. And they will. The Rockets will make the playoffs, and the Rockets really have a chance at the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't know. They're the one team that can cause San Antonio a lot of trouble, can cause Oklahoma City a lot of trouble. How will OKC handle Howard and Ashiq down low? How are you going to dribble in the paint and finish at a high rate? You can't. Ashiq, Howard, McHale, the brain trust, the core there, even though McHale doesn't play, but he is coaching, and he was a big man, a great big man, one of the best big men ever to play for the Boston Celtics. He will make sure Howard and Ashiq are accountable for where they're supposed to be at all times. So everything is good over there in Houston. So they're going to be fine. I believe in this Rocket team, and the Rockets are going to have a lot of success. And according to, just really quick, I got to share this. Pat White of the he's a freelance writer. He said the Lakers have terminated world peace. Yes, you did read that correctly. Smart move. Smart move. I personally, they're in rebuilding mode. I would not want to keep Meta World Peace there. I think I am Meta World Peace's biggest critic on Earth. This guy, I'm sorry, but I used to love the way Meta World Peace used to play. I hate saying the name. I just hate his name. Sorry, I just do. Can we just go back to Ron Artest? It just drives me insane sometimes having to say Meta World Peace. Just go back to Ron Artest. Just come on. Okay, we'll just say Meta. Okay, Meta. Okay, his inability to play solid defense anymore. He's too old. He can't slide well. He just tries to jam you up, but gets beat on the back door. Gets beat all the time now. He is a liability. Good. You know what, Lakers? Good job. You want to speed up the rebuilding process? Give up world peace. There's no reason to have a guy who lacks solid offensive skills, zero defense, IQ can be a little wacky, and attitude is all over the place. Excuse me. Meta World Peace. I can't tell if he's a nice guy, a horrible guy, an okay guy. Who is this guy? Really? He changes his name. Meta World Peace. I want to, help peace and restore and all this. And then he goes out to clubs. And it's not bad to go out to clubs, don't get me wrong. But I've seen wild, the way he acts wild sometimes. Okay, he really does. He's not a good example for kids or out there. He's a wannabe Dennis Rodman. Don't be like Dennis Rodman, because Dennis Rodman was genuine. Meta World Peace isn't genuine. Rodman was pure heart. That was pure Rodman. It wasn't fake. Rodman wasn't hiding behind this crazy name. Rodman wasn't trying to act like an attitude that he's not. Rodman did things his way, whether you liked it or not. And that's the Meta World Peace, or Ron Artest I used to like. The one in Indiana who would, yes, I know the fight, but you know what? He was a fiery competitor who didn't back down from anybody, who didn't try to change personas. He was the type of person that he was originally, a tough, fiery competitor. And I miss that from Meta World Peace. He's turned into a guy who, to be honest with you, I can't tell who he is as a person. So, wow, I just had to let that go. Out there in the audience, I know you're thinking, oh my god, what is this guy doing? Just going on a long Meta World Peace rant. But, yes, I had to, because I just had to get it out there. Point blank. So, look, came into the Lakers 1 year, $3.2 million. I mean, to be honest, what are they looking for in this team? Do they really think that Kaman is healthy enough? I don't think so. Kaman, really, he's a great guy, great person, great player, but just at the stage of his career where he just can't do it anymore, and he just cannot get it done, production-wise. It's unfortunate. I really like the guy. He's a good guy, but Lakers, I don't understand the move. There's no point in trying to get older. Okay, if you're trying to get older in a rebuilding process, then you're just flat out wasting money. They've really got to convince me this upcoming season that he's going to be a true asset. You're talking about dropping 15 and 8 rebounds. I don't know if he can do that consistently and guard the best of them. I mean, do you think he can really guard Howard consistently? Do you think he can really, truly guard Nikola Pekovic? Do you think he can truly guard Tim Duncan, if he has to, possibly? Can he really guard those premier dudes? And I don't think he can. Point blank, just simple analysis from me. If you like it, great. If you think I'm crazy, well, we'll see in the NBA in this upcoming season. So, let's move on now to the Randy Foye, Andre Iguodala move. The Golden State Warriors, everybody. They gave up. The Golden State Warriors gave up Andres Biedrins, Richard Jefferson, and Brandon Rush to the Jazz, but, they gives them more flexibility to the sign and trade with the Nuggets. Foye goes to Denver. That's not a bad idea. Look, Foye's a good player. I still think Foye should have stayed with the Jazz. Unless the Jazz are trying to get some marquee guy, then I can totally understand where they're coming from. But, again, I think a lot of people are talking about Golden State. How's Golden State going to do in this? Will Golden State be a better team? Because, yet again, no Jarrett Jack, no Carl Landry. Remember I said, I came on Robert's show, and I said, oh, by the way, Jarrett Jack is a Cleveland Cavalier, and Carl Landry is a King, again. So, look, Carl Landry, Jarrett Jack, I thought those were the two big-time guys off the bench that they really needed to have success. Now they don't have that. They do have Iguodala, who technically is an upgrade in the perimeter. You put Iguodala at small forward, he can guard LeBron. He can go. Okay, no one can guard LeBron James or Kevin Durant, but you can contain them, and that's what he can do. He's one of the best runners on the fast break. He is a really great finisher. He's a pretty good shooter. And you know what? He can create for himself and for others, which is something difficult in the NBA, and I gotta credit him for that. But again, losing Carl Landry, that's very important to that front line. Jarrett Jack, yes. Would he, jack up a lot of shots? Yes. But would it be good for that offense? Yes, it was, because he took good shots in that offense. So, again, Jack, Landry, they're going to do well. Cleveland looks great, by the way. I know I'm going a little bit off track. Cleveland looks great with Jack. Landry to the Kings, I can understand where the Kings are going. They really got a solid guy there. I get good job, Sacramento. You're trying to improve. But the Warriors, okay? Look, they did get Spates today, which is an upgrade. He's a good player. But, again, they're going to miss the heart and soul. Lee and Jack. Landry and Jack. If Spates can fill that role for Landry, good. So, technically, to replace Jack and Landry is Iguodala and Spates, if you think about it in a way. Is that good? Iguodala, yes. Spates, I like Landry a little more. I just personally like Landry a little more instead of Spates. Okay, so let's go to the deal with Josh Smith. He's a Detroit Piston, everybody. Okay, so Josh Smith going to the Detroit Pistons. A lot of people are saying, you know what? This team is going to be a playoff contender, and I say, okay. I don't know. If the Pistons are going to get Rondo or Rudy Gay, I mean, my goodness. Then I'm thinking playoffs. But I don't know. Will Josh Smith be the leader? I've always wanted to see Josh Smith in a leadership role, particularly with younger guys. And a lot of people say, yes, he was in Atlanta. No, he was not. Especially as last year, with the contract issues, and he was just a mess in the playoffs. That's just what I saw from my perspective. He just didn't. He started to fall into those jumpers. I don't really like his jump shot. I don't think, personally, when you look at his jump shot, the balance just really isn't there, and he fades away way too much. I mean, and he's a strong guy, but you can't fade away that much. He's got to reduce that. I mean, at times when he can't, sometimes he goes solo. He just feels like sometimes with Josh Smith, I just wonder, can this guy create for teammates? That's what I want to know. Can he do that in Detroit? And put these young guys on his shoulders and take them to the promised land? Because this team could be great in the future with Monroe and company. Knight. Hey, that's a lot you can work with. And if you possibly get a Rondo, if you possibly get a Rudy Gay, good things will happen. But it all comes down to whether or not Josh Smith can rally the troops. And if Josh Smith can rally the troops, I can guarantee the Pistons in the playoffs, not this year, but next year. You know what? The Pistons could make the playoffs this year. Who knows? We really don't. It's just, to me, you see this, when you look at this team, you've got Knight, who, you got Drummond too. Okay, Drummond is great. Monroe is great. Smith, Drummond, Monroe. This is hard for me to kind of fathom. You're going to put Josh Smith at small forward. I've heard some people say that. Is there enough foot speed there? I'm talking about defensively. Lateral quickness, slides, active hands out on the perimeter. Because that's an unnatural position for Smith, in a way. Because Smith is so accustomed to the 4 spot, he's going to be put in at the 3. How they handle that is really going to determine the team's success. That one decision in the lineup will determine the team's success, in my opinion. That's huge. So, is he going to play 3 or 4? That's huge. Because if you put Smith at the 3, I mean, can he guard LeBron James? Can he contain LeBron James? Does he have the quickness to contain LeBron James? You put Smith on a guy like Carmelo in the playoffs? I don't know. You see, I just don't know who Smith would go. Maybe on defense, they'd switch it up. Maybe. But That's too big of a front line. That's too big of a front line. Drummond, Monroe, and Smith. That's a little too big. Little too big. And I know that's so ironic, because people say, oh, it's good to have a big front line. Not in today's NBA. You don't want to have 3 huge guys. Okay, 2, fine. Ashiq, Howard, that's fine. But 3? No. So, that's going to be huge for the Pistons and what they're going to do over there. And for the Pistons, Rasheed Wallace is your Detroit Pistons head coach. Not head coach, assistant coach. Ball don't lie. Slam Online said, clipboard don't lie. Okay, here's the good thing about the Pistons. He will instill a working culture. Like, a culture that will play hard. That's what I love about Rasheed Wallace. Here's the problem with Rasheed Wallace. If Ron Garretson is officiating, some of you know what happened with Ron Garretson officiating 2001, or more like 2000, but Western Conference Finals. Rasheed Wallace and Ron Garretson. I think Ron Garretson hates Rasheed Wallace's guts. Really. We should dive into that. We should get investigators. We should go and interview Ron Garretson and say, do you hate Rasheed Wallace? Just honestly. I mean, I almost feel like Ron Garretson has a bias for Rasheed Wallace. But that's another topic for another day. How will Rasheed Wallace react to adversity? Because there's going to be a lot of adversity with the Detroit Pistons. They're not winning a championship this year, or this upcoming year, or even the year after that, or even the year after that. So, when the calls are not that great, when times are rough, will you be complaining? Rasheed, I like you, Rasheed. Will you be angry at your players for maybe unnecessary reasons? Rasheed, it's all up to you. It really is. And if Rasheed can't get it done as an assistant, it will be sad, because I thought this was a good hire. I really think, he'll make, and it says here on the Slam Online, he'll mainly work with the Pistons' young big guy. That's great. These guys need to develop a jumper. Monroe and Drummond can develop. Rasheed Wallace, and I know some people will laugh, say you're crazy, say I'm crazy, but Rasheed Wallace is a great jump shooter. And if he can make these guys threats in the perimeter, like remember the old Rasheed with Portland? If he can make them like that, that can be a scary team. The Pistons really have a good future. And they're a really solid organization. I mean, the way they're doing things right now is, I really appreciate what they're doing over there. Really, really. It's going to be a process, but be respectful of the process. And I hope the Detroit fans will be respectful of the process. I want to talk about something. In Fox Sports, we'll be having a new network, by the way. Just wanted to talk about this real quick. At the end of the show, from now on, I'm going to recap things. And as you know, many hosts out there, when they talk about sports, they also dive into topics that may not even have anything to do with sports. You know, guys like Jim Rome, you've seen Colin Cowherd. They talked about things that have nothing to do with sports. And at the end of the show, right now, I want to talk about something. Just like, it's kind of a burning topic, not really, but whatever. Not whatever, but it's not like a topic where, oh my god, if we don't fix this, the world's gonna end. It's not that type of issue. But daytime television, or daytime TV, that's the way I should say it, has really become horrible. I mean, horrible. You talk about terrible shows, and I feel like I've been so critical of everything today. Sorry about that, but it's horrible. Dr. Phil? I know a lot of you may like Dr. Phil, but come on. Really? You think this guy has any credibility? No. You know who Bill Cunningham is? Okay, do you know what Jerry Springer is? It's Jerry Springer with a gray-haired 65-year-old dude hosting it. Then you go to ESPN. They're talking about the decision again. The anniversary of the decision. Why do you... Don't talk about that. Talk about hockey. Something you guys never talk about. MMA, baseball, anything. Talk about Josh Smith going to the Piston. Do they even know who Josh Smith is? I wonder if they do. Then you go to the Rome show. You know Jim Rome? There's this guy who hosted for him. His name is something... I don't even know what his name is. Seriously, I don't know what... I think he's a host here out in Orange County. He does a radio show. It was really bad. He started ripping Dwight Howard, saying that he kills coaches, kills coaches' careers. And I'm just saying to myself... Are you kidding me? What is this? You go just like flipping through television. TV has just become so bad. Daytime TV. You got Dr. Phil, Bill Cunningham, Jerry Springer. Yeah, it's just bad. You just can't find anything good out there. It's really bad. When I think of daytime television, I usually think of this. Are you kidding me? It didn't work. I was going to get the cricket sound out. Embarrassing moments on this show. Unbelievable. On Spreaker, those of you wondering... There are these sound effects. You've heard the booing crowd, which... I've wanted to try these sound effects for today's show. Because I just thought it would just be interesting to do it. Just to see what would happen. You got... And again, going on with this daytime television, you got guys like Jim Cramer. Is that his name? Jim Cramer. Just... Oh... When I think of daytime television, I think of this. It's that bad. Seriously, they need to get better shows out there. I get it. No one watches daytime TV. One of the very few times I've had the opportunity to. Because I've had a lot of time recently, so... get it together. TV world. Media world. Come on. Let's get it together. Thank you very much. NBA Today with Cameron Sadeghi. If you didn't hear the live version, I'll post the recorded. version on Twitter. And on that note, hasta luego.